last after internals it was 32, 33. Anyways, see that you attend the classes. Coming to today, we will start with module 4, that is centroid and moment of inertia. Now, can you tell me what do you understand by center of gravity? Have you heard? You know anything? Center of gravity or a centroid? Who can tell me what is it? You can put it into the chat box also, I don't mind. Have you heard of this? Center of gravity, centroid? What it means? Yes? No idea? Okay, fine. No answers. Okay, Shifa. Center of the mass. Yes, Shifa says it is the center of the mass. Center of the mass means all of you are used to this, no? If you have a book, you can always balance the book on your fingertip. Yes. Where do you place your finger? I will mark 3 positions here. Tell me which position. 1, 2, 3. Where do you? Where can you balance the book? At position 1, 2, or 3?
2.
2. Anybody else? Any other answer? Others? Any other answer or same answer also is fine. Yash also says 2. Okay. 2 is what? 2 is exactly the center of that book, if you have noticed. Right? So 2 is the center of the book, and there is where if you hold the book on the fingertip, you will be able to balance. I can't balance, but I know there are people who will be able to balance that. Right? Similarly, if I give you a square cardboard or a square shaped book or a square shaped of box, where do you think you can balance it? You can write it in the chat box. Where do you think you will be able to balance it? Somewhere at the sides or at the center? Center. Vaishnavi says at the center. Right. Okay. I'll give you a circular shaped some object which is thin enough. So again, this will be able to balance on the sides or at the center?
Center.
Center. If I give you a triangle, something like this, exactly something like this. Okay. Say I'm giving you a triangle of the shape. Where will you be able to balance this? I will give you 3 positions. 1, 2, 3. You imagine. Three. Darshan says 0.3. Anybody else? Any other answer? 0.3. These 3 at the center is right. We cannot. We can balance, yes. We can balance it. But balancing point would be at nearer to this base. At the 3rd point. Okay. Why I'll tell you. Before going to why, I'll tell you what are these. So these points are called as the centroids. What is happening is the entire, we are aware of the action and reaction. Correct? What is action and reaction? You are not able to see. A box placed on a floor, its weight is going to act down. Correct? This is the action. At the point of contact, there would be a reaction which is going to be developed who has the magnitude same as that of the weight, but opposite in direction at this point. So when I have an action and if I am providing a reaction at that point, these 2 forces are going to get cancelled. If I'm applying a 10 Newton force like this and I apply another 10 Newton force like this, these both are equal and opposite, they both will cancel. And hence what? The system will stay still. That word is called as equilibrium. Okay, the system is said to be in equilibrium. The same thing happens over here. So when I'm talking of a book, okay, and its weight is going to act through this centroid point or center of gravity, okay, CG. This is going to be the center. And when I provide a support at that point, you're placing your finger, you're trying to balance this book. That's why it stands. It balances. So this is a point where, as Shifa said, it is a point where or it is called as the center of mass. The entire mass of the body is going to act at that one single point downward because of the effect of the gravity, right? So it is that one single point where the entire mass, if it is a total is 10 kgs mass, then that one single point will be bearing all that. मतलब वहां से main transfer is taking place. That is the centroid. Clear? So when we were, I asked you about few geometric figures, right? For a rectangle, yes, it is going to be at the center. If I give you a square, for a square also the CG is at the center. If I'm giving you a circle, it is going to be at the center. Understandable format, right? If I give you a triangle, right? So if you see this part, here mass is less, here mass is more. Why? Because this is apex, peak. Here there is a base, right? So here area covered is more, here area covered is less, correct? That's why your CG shifts down towards the base. Somewhere here you will have your CG point. Okay, for a triangle, this would be the CG. Now we will be finding this location. Basically, you have derivation wherein we find at what exact position is the CG, how much distance. If I have a 3-meter height of a triangle, at what position is the CG going to be located? It is a constant. The distance is going to be a constant in terms of ratio. If this is 3, then this is going to be 1, this is going to be 2. Okay, like that. So 1/3 and 2/3 we say. So we will be deriving those, but for a triangle, the CG is at this point. If I give you a cutout of a semicircle, where do you think the CG is going to be nearer to? Any guesses? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? Or is it going to be nearer to the diameter? 1, 2, 3. Give me quickly answers. 1, 2, 3. Where it could be? CG?
2, ma'am.
One says 2. One person is telling 2. Okay. Anybody else?
3.
3. Karthik says 3. Anybody else? Shifa says 3. Correct. 3 is right. This side the area is more. This side the area is less because it is converging, right? So nearer to the diameter will be the CG line. This is not, this second section is not equally dividing the area, no? I want equal division. So I can't directly have an equal division like in case of this, because this is a symmetrical figure. This is called as a symmetrical. What is symmetrical? When I fold it, I will have same both the sides. Say when I fold it along this axis, this is exactly going to fall on this corner, this is exactly going to fall on this corner. But in case of a semicircle, say if I'm folding it along this axis like this, is it going to fall on the same? No, it would be looking something like this then. This much is not there, right? So I want to divide the area equally, but we can't say it in those terms, or we can't do it practically. So only what I understand is CG is going to shift down towards the maximum area, that is the diameter. So for your syllabus, okay, this is about the semicircle. Tell me, where could you expect it for a quarter circle? Quarter circle mein both the axes have to be kept in mind. So it could be nearer to like this, 1, 2, 3, or and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there are 3 junctions coming here. Which do you think? Point 1, 2, 3. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Where do you think you can balance it?
Two.
2?
2, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else? 1, 1. Yes, Anish says 1. 3 though definitely not. It is outside. In this case, if I look area wise, I will feel yes, 2 must be the center where equally it is divided. But 2 is not the exact center. It is not going to be equally divided. We never divide this semicircle, quarter circle like this. The division would be in terms of both the axes. So the CG would lie somewhere here at 1. And this distance I need to find out. And these are the numericals. Once you find the distances, we will be making use of this as the numerical. So for your syllabus, you will have CG for a rectangle. Square and rectangle are same. So then you have CG of a triangle. You have CG in case of a semicircle. CG in case of a quarter circle. 4 figures are there. And for these 4, there are derivations. And once you derive it, you'll know the formula. But like, for example, I know for a rectangle and for a square or a circle, it is at the center. So if I tell you, give me the position of this, say, I'll draw it like this. I'll draw a rectangle. Okay. And I know, by now, even you know, even I know, it is at the center. Yahan pe. Correct? I'll call this as x-axis. I'll call this as y-axis, right? I'll call this dimension to be b and this side dimension to be d. Okay? The rectangle is of breadth b and depth d. Now tell me what are the coordinates of the center? Can you give me the position of the coordinates of the center? What are the coordinate means what? What is this distance and this distance? Coordinate is what? Always x and y distances are your coordinates. It is telling me the position. Coordinate matlab it is giving me the position. It is at 2 meters on x-axis. It is on 5 meters of y-axis. You do know graphs. So when I'm asking you this points x and y's. So x would be this. Agree? And y would be this. Can you look at the figure and tell me what is this value now based on the outer dimensions b and d? What is x?
h by 2 and d by 2.
Yes, correct. So x is going to be b by 2 and y is going to be d by 2. It is at the center. Center matlab iska half. X is always horizontal. So b by 2 and y is d. So d by 2 is your y. So these are the coordinates of the CG of a rectangle. I know now. By default, you can at least guess this much. So for a rectangle, it is going to be like this. If I'm telling you of a circle, if I'm asking you for a circle also, I know that it is a symmetrical figure. CG is at the center. Circle ka dimensions how we give, we won't be able to give a proper dimensioning, but we can always talk the dimensioning in case of, in terms of diameter, d. Here also it is going to be diameter. Here also it is going to be diameter, circle, right? So now what are the coordinates of this point of CG? Can you tell me?
D by 2.
X is also d by 2 and y also is going to be d by 2, diameter by 2. Agree? X is also d by 2 and y is also d by 2. So we have derivations where I will prove that it is b by 2 and d by 2. Now these two cases are simple. You directly know the value d by 2 and d by 2. Okay, but still we have a derivation for this also. And apart from this, we have derivations for cases like a triangle where I know now the CG, this is going to be my x, this distance is going to be my y. I have to find the location of this point, that is the CG. Apart from this, we have it for a semicircle, okay, like this, and we have it for a quarter circle, like this, right? So this is your CG point. I need to find the x distance and I need to find the y distance. So we have 5 derivations. 5 geometric figures, we have 5 derivations, and 1 derivation out of 5 is going to be surely coming in the examinations, final examinations I'm talking. Okay, so that is all about the basics or the theory part, little bit theory part about the introduction, and coming back to centroid. What is centroid? So we'll start with that. What is centroid? So how do I define centroid? If I ask you to define a centroid, say we have a rigid body, okay, and we'll show the x and y axis in this manner. So this rigid body is going to be divided into n number of different particles or different weights, and each of it has got its own weight, W1, W2, W3, W4 and W5 and W6 and W7 because it's shown 7. So there could be n number of them and each of them have got their own weights, and the entire weight is the sum of all of these weights. Agree? I give you a box and I ask you to divide it into 10 pieces. Each of its weight will be, it will have each of the piece will have a different weight. And when I sum it up, I will have the exact weight of the box, something like that. So we are dividing into different. So if I draw it in case like this, showing the 3 coordinate system, this is your rigid body, say. So this all the weight when we are considering, we will let us consider one point and call its weight to be dw. Assume that its weight is dw, or consider an object as shown in the figure. The gravitation force is going to act on each and every particle of the body, and these forces act towards the center of the earth because they are going to go down. We are aware of that, right? We consider all the forces to be parallel, and we'll assume that they all have a same magnitude, right? That is W1, W2, W3. We are going to assume that all are of same weights and dimensions. Now these parallel forces, what we'll do, it can be reduced to a single force or a single weight and object, and it will pass through one point, right? And that point is called as the CG. So these all W1, W2, W3 and all will be considered as one weight. Okay, and that one weight will be passing through your CG or through one point, and that point is called as CG. So if this is the CG where the entire mass is acting, then if I draw drop a perpendicular from that point, right? So this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis, and this is your z-axis. Correct? So I have to get the position of this point. How am I going to get the position of this point? So x-axis is here, this is your y-axis, and this is your z-axis. So with respect to that, I have to get the dimension. So this would be z bar, right? This would be x bar. Position basically. So x bar and z bar. If I want in different terms, I can call this as x and this as y. So here that time you will have, this is x bar, this is going to be your y bar. So one point, all the weight will be acting through one point, and that point is called as CG, and we need to obtain its coordinates where it is acting. Okay, so those finding that coordinates, or when I ask you to write a centroid of a particular figure, you will always give me the value in terms of the coordinates. That is, you're talking of the position of the CG. Okay, you will always give the position of the CG. Now when we look at this and we want to arrive at a formula for a CG, how do we go ahead? So as I said, these all particles, or all particles you can call them, or different pieces. As I said, we'll cut it into different pieces, right? So if you, whatever you consider them, if I take an individual of it, say dw, I'll consider one piece of it, that is dw, or consider an element who has got its weight to be called as dw. Then the total weight, how do you calculate the total weight? The total weight, okay, the total weight w can be obtained. The total weight w can be obtained by adding all the weights. We are aware of this. By adding all weights. Now, by adding all weights means w can be got by sum of all the dw's. There are 1 to 7. So summation of dw's, all the summation of dw's. Correct? The summation can also be written as integration of weights as w. So when we apply, there is a theorem called as Varignon's theorem. Right? Varignon's theorem. From Varignon's theorem, this Varignon's theorem is there in your module 1. It is related to forces, but here we will keep it at the side because we have not done that. So by Varignon's theorem, the individual weights moment will be equal to the moment of the resultant. That is the statement. So individually, whatever moments I take, that moment is going to be equal to the moment of the resultant. Matlab, abhi look at this diagram. If I'm taking the moment of these single four weights, so about x-axis, so w1 into the perpendicular distance, w2 into the perpendicular distance, w3 into the perpendicular distance will be equal to this entire w into its 1 cg, that is the perpendicular distance. That is how it goes. So it is, we write the equation as summation of, or integration of x into dw, that is moment of a single force, will be equal to the moment of the resultant, that is w into x bar. Okay, even if you have not followed at this particular part, it's okay because you all are not exposed to Varignon's theorem. So this you will understand when we do the Varignon's theorem. So from here, I can write that x bar, that is our CG point or the position, is going to be equal to what? integration of x bar into dw divided by w. So this is of importance to us. That is integration of x into dw divided by w. Now what are these? Integration of x means, or x into dw means, each particle's weight sum divided by the overall sum gives me the position of that particular point, or the position of the CG of that point. On the same lines, the way we wrote x bar, we can always write y bar. So what would be the change in y bar? It is going to be integration of y into dw, that is y distance into dw, divided by w. So these are your notations or the equations that are going to be used in CG, especially while doing the derivations. We start the derivation only with this. Okay, in case of weight, this is. Now you will find textbooks wherein I can always convert this weight. I can write it in terms of mass. We can write it in terms of volume. Say for example, I want to write it in terms of mass. So x bar becomes equal to x into dm, that is each of the mass, divided by the total mass. Okay, x is the distance, and this dm means individual particles mass. This is the total mass, right? Similarly, if I want to write it in case of volume, so x bar can be also written as x into dv, that is x is again the distance, dv is the entire volume, volume of a particle divided by the entire volume. So this is in terms of volume, this is in terms of mass. Okay, this can also be reduced to length in terms of length. So x bar can be written as x into dl, that is individual length, divided by the overall length L, capital L. So these are few of the examples that how do we convert. These conversions are based on what? We simply use the formula. For example, when I have talking of volume, right? For volume, I will make use of the formula of mass. Mass is equal to rho into volume. So from here, I will substitute for each other and I'll get this equation, but do not worry much. I'm just telling you what all are the possibilities. Now, final possibility, one more possibility is the area. Okay, and that is what we will be using. So area, in terms of area, if I want to give x bar and y bar, x bar will be written as x into dA divided by A. Okay, and y bar will be given as y into dA divided by A. And this is what we are going to use going forward for our derivations. Now, what it indicates? Say for example, I will take like this, a rigid body, and I'll have individual areas. I have divided into different areas like this, and each of one is got A1, A2, A3 and A4, right? So when we project them downwards, so each of it is got one x value, right? A3 is coming here, A4 is here, right? Each of it is got one x distance, x2, x3 and x4, all are on x-axis. Similarly, each of one will have a y value. See, look at this. I will take the CGs all here. So I'll have here y4, right? This is y2, this is y3, and this is y1 overall. So each of it is got its x and y value. So x1 and y1 tells me the position of this a1. So if I link it to this formula, as the formula says, x into dA means x1 into a1, x2 into a2, x3 into a3, x4 into a4. Okay, that is integration of x into dA. So distance into area. Integration means all the summation. So distance x1 into a1, x2 into a2, that is your numerator. Okay, divided by total area. A1 plus a2 plus a3 plus a4 gives me the total area. So divided by total area, I will get the x bar of, that is, this all will have one CG, whatever is the shape of it. It will have a CG, right? So that distance is your x bar. It gives me the value of that CG of this entire object at once, by considering what? By considering the CG of different elements. So this is the basics behind that, and this is the definition or the formula that is going to be used. Okay, we'll take up one derivation today. Derivations are easy. We'll take up one derivation and let's see how it goes. So first one, determine, I hope you are writing with me or at least observing, determine the x and y coordinates of the centroid of a rectangle. We'll start with the basic of a rectangle as shown in figure. Okay, so now I know, even you know, I know, everyone knows that CG of a rectangle is exactly at the center, that is b by 2 and d by 2. We have to prove it now. How to prove it? So diagram given is like this. So this is your x, this is your y-axis. They have given the rectangle in this manner. Okay, this distance is a and this distance is b. Correct? So this is what is given to us. Remember, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So what we'll do first, consider the differential element. Now, what is a differential element? Differential element means I will take a portion of the element and then I will give it limits from here to here. So it can vary from that point to that point, right? So that is why the term differential. I will give a part of it and I'll give it limits from here to here, range, it ranges from 0 to 50. So that differential, what differential parameter we have taken, it will be ranging from 0 to 50 like that. So consider a differential element here in our case, okay, element to be a vertical strip in first case. Vertical strip. Matlab, I want x value. So for x value, x is going like this, no? So from here to here, 0 to a. So I will consider a strip like this, which is my differential element, whose width would be what? What could be the width of this? Dx. Differential elements are always in terms of dx, dy like that. So width of this elemental area is dx. Okay. Now this dx is ranging from here to here in this x direction. I want the x, that's why I took a differential element vertical. If I want to find the y, I will take a differential element which is going to be horizontal. Okay. So we'll consider a vertical strip. Now look at this shaded area, which is a shaded area in our diagram. Okay. Look at the shaded area and tell me the area of the rectangle. Or give me first the area of the overall rectangle. What is the area of the rectangle? Leave the shaded area. What is the area of the rectangle?
BDX.
Area of the elemental strip is b into dx. Overall rectangle is going to be first a into b. Overall rectangle is going to be a into b, the total area of the rectangle. And now area of strip, as your friend said, area of the strip I'll consider, that is b into dx. B into dx. Correct? Area of the strip is given by b into dx. That area of the strip I can call it as dA because it is a small area, differential area. So dA is given by b into dx. And total A is A into B. So let's not go to this. Now from this dA, what I can do it, I can get this, I can prove that total area is A into B. How? So dA is B into dx. Isko if I want to apply, I want to get the area, total area A, then D goes this side and it is going to become integration of B into dx. Dx is a elemental strip whose limits are from this point to this point. So that is 0 to A. Correct? So 0 to A is the limits for that dx. So I'll write 0 to A. So then A equal to, B is a constant outside, x 0 to A. This becomes what? A into B. So area is A into B, we know from high school or before the high school, secondary school. But if I want to prove area is B, A into B, here we have the proof. dA integrated with the limits, you will get A into B. Once you get the area or you just prove what is area, then come back to your definition of x bar, that is centroid. X bar is given by what? X into dA divided by the overall A. Overall A. Correct? Now in this we have to substitute. So x bar is equal to, right? dA is what? B into dx. Correct? Substitute for dA. X into B into dx divided by overall area is what? A into B. Okay, and limits are going to be 0 to A, because dx is varying from 0 to A. Clear? Now in this, your B is going, what is left up? X bar is equal to integration of 0 to A, x into dx divided by A. Am I right? X into dx divided by A. Now, if I integrate x, it is going to become x square by 2 with 0 to A. The entire thing is divided by A even now. Right? Now, when I put the limits, 1 is 0, 1 is A. So, I'll have A square by 2. Correct? When I enter the limits for this. A square by 2, correct? Into 1 by A. So, this A goes, what is remaining? A by 2. X bar is A by 2, meaning what? Half of A. And I know for a CG, if I tell you, we spoke, CG of a rectangle, this distance is half. If so, I'm giving you this as A, this is A by 2. And this is proved over here. X bar is equal to A by 2. Okay, so we found the X bar. Similarly, we have to find the Y bar. So how do we find the Y bar? The entire thing will be repeated again. So in case of Y bar, what we will do, we will assume what strip is now parallel or perpendicular, vertical or horizontal?
Parallel to x-axis.
Horizontal.
Horizontal. Correct. So this is B, this is A. Now we will have the strip to be parallel to x-axis like this. And I'll call this strip to be dy. Okay. So consider a horizontal strip. Consider a horizontal strip of its length is going to be A, length A, and width or depth is dy. Okay, so we are what we did, same procedure you will repeat, only that things will change over here. So area of strip is what now? We'll start with area of strip. Area of strip is going to be A into dy. Correct? Area of strip is given by A into dy. That is, dA is equal to A into dy. So if I want A, I have to integrate that side, A into dy, with limits. Now this strip is going from here to here. It has limits from this point to this point. That is 0 to B. So 0 to B. Integrate this. So A equal to, A is outside, x of 0 to B, or A becomes AB. Again proved that area is equal to A into B. Once this is done, then we will apply the centroid equation. What is the centroid equation? We know that we want to find y bar. So y bar is going to be integration of y into dA divided by A. Substitute. So y bar is equal to integration of y into dA. dA was what? A into dy. Limits are 0 to B divided by overall area is A into B. Am I right? So A is gone. We are left up with 0 to B y dy divided by B. Again, solve for this. That becomes y square by 2, 0 to B divided by B, right? And this becomes B square by 2 into 1 by B. So I am left up with B by 2. Y bar is B by 2. Correct? Now look at this figure. Y bar is B by 2, half of B. So now after finding this, many a times what students do is the derivation here, they stop it. They do Y bar, I got B by 2 and left. No. Therefore, the centroid of the rectangle lies at, okay, coordinates, because they have asked us for coordinates. xy is equal to A by 2 and B by 2. These are the coordinates. You need to close the statement like this. Okay, it's a very simple derivation, easy derivation, right? So you find the x and y in case of a centroid, that is A by 2 and B by 2. Any doubt till here? Any doubts? No? Okay. So like this, if I'm doing it for a square, if I want x, So I want the area differential element to go from here to here. So I will take a vertical strip, right? If I want a y from here to here distance, so I will take a horizontal strip. So this is my y, horizontal strip. Okay, so it is from here to here. This is from here to here. X and y you get, right? Now when we are doing for a triangle, we take a triangle like this of this sort, which is symmetrical by y-axis. Matlab, if I'm folding it along this, it is going to be mirror image. So this is base, okay, and this would be b by 2. By default, it is at the center, b by 2. Only I have to find here, y may, what is the value? Where? I know now here it is lying. So here. So I take the elemental strip like this, horizontal. I want the y value, so I will take the elemental strip as horizontal. And then I will start solving for this. We'll take up this derivation next class, because if I start now, I need at least 10 minutes. So I will be taking it up in the next class. So next class again, that is Monday, I will be finishing the derivations for a triangle, for a semicircle, okay, and a quarter circle. So please see that Monday's class you attend. Any doubts? Shifa said no, ma'am. For what, dear? Okay, no doubts, I think. Okay, all of you can put your attendance in the chat box and you can quit the meeting. Ashwini, Maitri, Deepak and Shirish, are you done with your attendance?